L'honorable député.
The honourable member for New Brunswick Southwest.
Mr. Speaker, during tonight's adjournment debate, I'll be speaking about the privacy rights of my constituents. I know for all members of this House, privacy rights are important, and of course they are guaranteed by the Charter. They are paramount to our identity as Canadians. Unfortunately, this government has missed the boat on protecting privacy rights in southern New Brunswick. Some of you may recall my question last year about Canada Post mail delivery to a beautiful part of my riding called Campobello Island. U.S. Customs and Border Protection continue to open and review Canada Post mail going to Campobello. That's because Campobello is Canadian territory but is only accessible year-round by driving through the state of Maine for an hour. The government responded to my question by stating, quote, "We will be looking at this matter and we will have further things to say on it in the future." I was expecting that in this minority parliament, where the government is trying to work across the aisle, that when a serious issue is brought to their attention, an issue that impacts the privacy rights of Canadians, that they would act. But sadly, I was wrong. My office has received a letter from Canada Post, which I will table after these adjournment proceedings. And quite frankly, the response from this government-owned Crown agency, Canada Post, is tone deaf. They say the United States has a right to open the mail through Canada, and Canada Post understands, quote, "if this has caused you concern." Second, it says that the delivery route through Maine is, quote, "the only available option beyond seasonal ferry service," end quote. But from what I understand, Canada Post has not requested use of that seasonal ferry service. They have not contacted the ferry operator whose craft is in the water and available for private or public charter. Third, the letter says Canada Post is working on resolving the matter with the United States government or officials and hope to see, quote, "fewer delays in the coming weeks," end quote. Mr. Speaker, nearly 2 months have come and gone. And here's the problem. The letter closes by saying, quote, "timely service, and we ask that you refrain from ordering or sending items that cannot be sent by mail or that could be seized by a customs agent, as they may delay passage of all mail through the border." So what Canada Post is asking is for Canadians living in Campobello just to use the mail less or not to use it at all. I've contacted Canada Post. I brought this issue to the Minister's attention, and Canada Post has contacted my office. But once again, their explanation doesn't solve the problem. According to Canada Post, this whole problem is because cannabis is a mailable matter within Canada. It's just the fluke of geography which necessitates the crossing of borders to reach Campobello that causes some challenges here. But Mr. Speaker, a Canadian is a Canadian is a Canadian. Also, geography cuts both ways. You see, that's because there's a place called Point Roberts in British Columbia that is U.S. territory and is only accessible by passing through Canadian territory. And the U.S. mail that is going to Point Roberts is not being opened by CBS officials. Perhaps it is time that we did so. So I have some questions for my colleagues in the government this evening. Why has the issue of U.S. border official agents searching Canada Post mail still not been resolved? And what will they do today, not in the future, to protect the privacy rights of Canadian residents living on Campobello? Thank you.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Public Service and Procurement.
Thank you, merci Madame la Présidente, and I want to thank my honourable colleague, he and I have been acquainted over the years. I think he would indulge me for a brief moment as I extend my condolences to the family of Joan Lee, the spouse of Sheldon Lee, a great servant of Charlotte County, a great mentor of mine, and a person who's truly a legendary figure in Charlotte County politics. And at the same time, want to extend my own personal greetings to the people of Charlotte County and the Fundy Isles, with whom I've become very acquainted over the years. And of course, I take great interest in the issue that the member raises. The of course, this is a vexing conundrum. The people of Campobello Island know and have known over the years that the uniqueness of their geography and their proximity to the United States, the fact that you have to cross the Franklin Delano Roosevelt Bridge to re-enter Canada and get access to their very beautiful piece of corner of Canada is something that is well known to them and something that has caused them to have to come up with inventive solutions to all manner of things. And this situation is no lesser for it. We are going to have to, the Government of Canada, Canada Post, come up with an inventive solution. This, of course, has all been brought on by, or it's seemingly brought on by the legalization of cannabis, which has caused the border and customs authorities in the United States to want to go through Canadians' mail. That, of course, is something that is distasteful to us in Canada. That is something we, of course, want to avoid. Canada Post representatives have worked and will continue to work on innovative solutions with their U.S. counterparts. As I know government officials will with their U.S. counterparts. And of course we seek, as the member alluded to, a sustainable transportation solution that could allow us to send mail directly to the island. We would invite the Higgs government, for that matter, to continue to propose solutions, transportation or other solutions that they may be interested in supporting that we could then rely upon for the mail. But I leave that all to the discussions that are, I know, occurring very actively among officials, and this is something that we will continue to have a great interest in and obviously want to continue to work on and solve for the people of Campobello Island. Merci, Madame la Présidente.
Honourable Member for New Brunswick Southwest.
Thank you. And I appreciate the response from the honourable member. It's clear that he's familiar with this corner of my federal riding, New Brunswick Southwest, Charlotte County. I would, though, point out that it is not up to the citizens living in Campobello to solve this problem. The honourable member suggested they've come up with innovative solutions in the past. That's because they've had no choice to do so, because they feel rightly that the government has let them down. And I do hope, and I appreciate the members opening the door to providing help on perhaps a year-round ferry in Campobello from the Higgs government, should it come to the federal government seeking infrastructure dollars to build and operate such a ferry service. But of course, as the member knows, ferry services aren't built overnight, and we need a solution to this matter right away. I'll point out again for the record that these Canada Post mail trucks are bonded. They should not be inspected by U.S. customs agencies, and doing so is an infringement on our right as Canadians. Thanks.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
I think the member took a few liberties with my answer. Suffice to say, Madame la Présidente, that we are very interested in finding innovative solutions. We are not, of course, asking the people of Campobello Island to solve this on their own. That is patently false. We are interested, as the McKenna government, for example, did in building the Grand Manan ferry, or other provincial governments did, who went and found sustainable transportation solutions of their own. The Higgs government is indeed invited to come up with some sustainable transportation solutions for the people of Campobello Island, and we would be very interested in hearing about those. So I would invite the Higgs government and the government of New Brunswick to let us know what they might have in mind there. But of course, Madam Speaker, we will be actively working on all fronts to make sure that the people of Campobello Island, who indeed are Canadians, and Canadians are Canadians are Canadians, and they will, of course, get the full attention of this government as we work through this problem.